Hey everybody, welcome to episode 56. It's going to be a kind of just quick check-in. As you can see, it's quite a time here in the Gold household. We are in a state of transition. We bought a house and we're closing on Friday. I'm filming this Monday night. It's about 11 o'clock. You'll see it Wednesday morning in theory. And we close on Friday and then start moving records and music gear into the house. And then next week, Wednesday, movers will come for the big things and the non-irreplaceables. I think I'm not gonna let movers move any irreplaceable vintage guitars. I don't think so. I'm drinking decaf, like I said. It's very late. It's been a very stressful time. It's been a really good time. These last 2 weeks, I've been away from you. It is going to be another 2 weeks after this. I got to get into this new place, get us settled. I'm also playing shows. I'm going down to Iowa. I'm going down to Milwaukee to play some music for people. And in the meantime, life just keeps going. You know, we registered Oliver for school today, 7th grade, junior high. Boom. And you know, he had a dentist appointment and I have a dentist appointment, and just been real busy and going through a lot of big emotions. At least I am. The place I live right now that I'm shooting this, I've lived here for almost 17 years, which is the longest I ever lived anywhere and my favorite place I've ever lived. And when I moved in, I was single and childless, and I worked at a gas station. And now I've been married for 15 years, and we have a 12-year-old going into junior high, and I'm a full-time musician, and a lot has happened here, and I'm digging through a lot, literally and metaphorically, and letting go of a lot, literally and figuratively. And it's just a lot to process and to think about, and outside the world rages on, you know. Some of the upsides, though, we played Mile of Music here in my hometown of Appleton, Wisconsin, and that was great. We played 8 shows in 4 days, and it was wonderful. Had a lot of new adventures with new friends, and played some great places, and did some kind of novel things for me. At one of the shows, I just decided to try to put together a kind of one-man show where I would play all the songs I wrote during quarantine and try to connect them with stories in between about quarantine and do it in a linear way. And it worked pretty good. I did it for about 200 people seated in an old church, and people seemed to appreciate it. And I think I might try to do it again and maybe try to record it. So I'll keep you posted on that. And the big news was the Friday of Mile of Music. Thankfully, with their blessing, we canceled all of our shows so we could run to Madison and play at the Sylvie for 2,500 people, opening for Orville Peck, of whom I am a big fan. And it was our biggest show to date, I believe. And it was wonderful. Everyone was so kind, and sold a ton of merch and met a lot of nice people, and were treated very well. And in a lot of ways, it sort of felt like it was definitely a milestone, you know. You get shows like that, and it sort of forces you out of some insecurities if you let it, because you have to acknowledge that you don't get shows like that because you're friendly with somebody, or because, you know, of who you know or anything like that. They don't put you on stuff like that for any reason other than they think you can do it. And I remember before we went on, we all got in a circle, as we do, me and the band, and I said, we're here because we belong here, and we're going to be relaxed and we're a great rock and roll band. Let's go be a great rock and roll band. And then we hooted and yelled, and we went out, and if I don't say so myself, did pretty damn good in front of 2,500 people. And it was wonderful. I've been experiencing, sort of since I got back out there playing music, a somewhat elevated profile, I guess you would say, and that's been an adjustment, and getting a lot of messages from people about what my music means to them, and what just being on stage with Ollie means to them, and how it brings to them memories of their often deceased fathers. And it feels like a lot of pressure to say the right thing, and I was kind of freaking out about it a little bit and tell my wife that I felt underqualified, and she disagreed. She said, I have a bit of a gift for figuring out the right thing to say, and I also have a bit of a gift for figuring out the wrong thing to say from time to time, but you know, it felt good to be encouraged, and it feels good to, it feels strange as well, but it does feel good to connect with people on a deeper level than like, oh, that song was catchy and I enjoyed it. One of the strange things, though, is I'm being approached by people from time to time who have not heard my music. They're like, hey, you're Christopher Gold. And then they'll say, you know, I really like, you know, your podcast or what you wrote on Facebook yesterday or something. And that's taken some getting used to. You know, I come from punk rock, so visibility was never the goal. And any level of like notoriety or notability or celebrity was never the goal, and it's not now. It makes me very uncomfortable, but I'm trying to embrace that, like, you know, I'm a musician, but I'm a citizen of the world, and I want to make the world a better place. And if I can make the world a better place by people hearing a song or seeing a podcast or reading the thing that I wrote, then that's a good thing. I'm just trying to get used to it a little bit. And again, make no mistake, it's not anything even approaching actual big deal status. It's just, you know, occasionally we'll be sat at a restaurant and someone will come up and say, hey, I saw you play and really enjoyed it. And that feels good. And it helps remind me that, you know, sometimes the world doesn't make any sense, and then other times it makes a lot of sense. Other times I get reminded that if you just go out and do what you do authentically, people will connect to it, even if it's a few people, and that makes a lot of sense to me. I found myself in a couple positions to help people and connect with people and help people connect with each other, and it was always in a circumstance where I was just being as purely and honestly as Christopher as I know how to be. And you know, sometimes that means standing on stage at Mile Music and calling a bunch of people a-holes because they're talking with fake accents and not being very gracious. That's very Christopher as well, you know? I don't know what to tell you. I do know what to tell you, which is that we're going to keep this one short. Tori's tucking in Ollie. He's not feeling very good. He's just fighting off a bit of a cold. We all got tested after Mile Music and after the Sylvie just to make sure, you know, we were exposed to a lot of new faces. And we all got the clean bill of health. Me and Ollie both have some kind of allergies or cold or whatever it is. I posted that Ollie and I were going to get tested, and I made the mistake of not saying we're totally fine, we're just being cautious. And some people worried. And in response to their worry, I said we were just doing the responsible thing, and we have let caution and preparedness take the place of our fear. And I said it without thinking about it, and then the more I thought about it, the more I thought, that's pretty good. We've let caution and preparedness take the place of our fear. Because a lot of people don't want you to let go of that fear, do they? They want you to... That was very preachery, wasn't it, to add the do they at the end? Oh, they don't want you to let go of that fear, do they? Brothers and sisters? But they don't. I think I think they've figured out how to benefit from that fear, and I don't think they're ever eager to stop benefiting. Um, but I do think that the numbers and the science bears out my theory that we've reached a point where, to a large degree at least, caution and preparedness and information can take the place of our fear, and we can calm ourselves a little bit. And I think it's important to acknowledge that you don't calm yourself because nothing's wrong all the time. Sometimes you calm yourself because something is wrong and it needs to be dealt with. And I tell my son all the time, if you get worked up, you get sped up. And when you're sped up, you don't always make the best decision. So if you calm down and slow yourself down, you can get a clearer view of things and maybe make a better decision. Speaking of good decisions, here's some music you're going to want to listen to. As you can see, my lovely creation here, my life's work, is packed up in these boxes, and I don't have a physical copy of the first record I want to recommend to you. It's in one of these boxes here, but The Killers, one of my favorite bands, they put out a great new record called Pressure Machine, and I just love it. It's very rootsy. It's a concept album about growing up in a small town, and very, very worth your time. Definitely something you should take in as a whole. There's all these sound bites and audio clips and stuff that really weave the story together, but it's a wonderful record, and I would encourage you to check out the title track, Pressure Machine by The Killers. And then, this just arrived the other day, so I actually physically have a copy of it to show you, if you like the punk rock. From Chicago, the Lawrence Arms. This record's called Metropole, and I love the Lawrence Arms. I've been spending my days packing boxes and listening to a podcast specifically about the Lawrence Arms called Road to the Skeleton Coast. But this is one of their more recent records, and it's just been speaking to me lately because there's a song on it called October Blood, and it's the last song on the record, and I really think somehow, it found me at the exact right time. I've been listening to it for a while, and all of a sudden the line in this last song, he says, "I was born and I died, and just a moment went by." And as I prepare to leave what has felt like maybe my only home ever, but with my wife of what feels like a lifetime in a minute, and my son who feels like my baby, and my teenager, and that feels very prescient and true. I was born and I died, and just a moment went by. And I'm trying to focus on the good stuff, and it's a lot of big feelings. My dad said, you're closing a chapter, and that can be hard, but that's the only way to read the book. My dad says these things sometimes that just kind of blow my mind, and he says them real casual like that. And I think in a lot of ways he and I are very different people, but a lot of the stuff people like about me, I think you can see a lot of that in him too. This ability to just kind of say something off the cuff that hits a person like, oh, wow. So I was born and I died, and just a moment went by. And if you only have a moment, you might try to enjoy it. That's where I'm at. I've been dealing with so many things, and a lot of times I get overwhelmed by those things, and they sort of become a little bit of a depression, and that's been tricky to get through. But I have Tori, and she's been great, and I have a job to do, which helps a lot. I got to pack these boxes, man, and that helps. So I hope you guys are doing well. I'll see you in another 2 weeks, and when I do, everything will look different. I'll be in my new spot, and I don't know what level of disarray it will be in, but hopefully we'll get it set up sooner than later. And in the meantime, I really do hope y'all are doing well. I hope you're not struggling too much or dealing with too much, fear or sadness or struggle or anything like that. Yeah. I don't know how many people are even going to watch this. In the modern era, you take 2 weeks off and people act like you died. So, hopefully that's not the case. And, if it is the case, I guess I've been reborn. Uh, so yeah, be good. Take care of yourselves. Take care of somebody else. And I will see you in my new home in 2 weeks. I keep telling myself, everything about this place that makes it home, I'm bringing with me to the new place, and it'll be home too. And I can't wait to see you. It'll be 2 weeks, and we'll be back. In the meantime, be good, and we will talk soon. Listen to the Killers. Bye.